Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 6.1 Notes Day 2. Today we are going to be talking about graphing cube root functions. Our learning target today is to be able to graph cube root functions and identify their domain and range. So yesterday we were talking about square roots. Today we're going on with the cube root. Okay, so here's our basic equation. F of x equals the cubed root of x minus h plus k. Now, first thing to notice that our vertex, that middle point, is still going to be the same. It's going to be h comma k, but remember that here we're going with the opposite. Okay, so the initial point, I'm just going to go ahead and fill some of these points in. Hold on. All right, so we're going to plug some of these points in, but we're going to use the basic function right now. So f of x equals the cubed root of x. So our initial point is going to be 0, 0. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into our y equals. Now to get to the cube root, we're going to hit math, and I need to go to, for mine it's number 4. Okay, so the cubed root of x. And now you can graph it to notice that it's not like it was before. It's when we're doing square roots, this is a cubed root, and this kind of makes an S. Now, I recommend looking at the table so we can get some of our points. And when we're looking at it, we see that -1 and 1 both give us points, so that's what we want. We want -1 and 1, and when we plug in -1, we get -1, and when we plug in 1, we get 1. Okay, now I need to find my other point, and it's going to be -8, -2. So -8, -2. Sorry, I'm just going to highlight our vertex initial point right there. Sorry, initial point. Mr. Grice, get the word right. And then as I go down a little bit, I'm going to find my next point at 8. So 8, 2. Now, the general pattern of this graph. So let's go ahead and start graphing it. So at 0, 1, or 0, 0, and then I'm at 1, 1, and then I'm at 8, 2. So for part of the graph, I'm going up 1, right 1, up 2, right 8. So that is part of, just part of the graph, because if you notice, there's also the bottom part of the graph. And the bottom part of the graph, I'm going down 1, left 1, down 2, left 8. Okay, so there are 2 parts of this pattern. Okay, so then I go down 1, left 1, down 2, left 8. So notice it's 1 and 1, 2 and 8 in both directions from the initial point. Now, my domain from left to right is -infinity to +infinity. And then my range from low to high is also -infinity to +infinity. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started with some of these. So it's always important to look at your function to see what it's telling you to do. Okay, my initial point is -1, -2, so that's where I start. It's to the cubed root. So at -1, -2, and then I go up 1 over 1, up 2 over 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then I have to do the other direction too. So I go down 1, left 1, down 2, left 8 to make my S. Okay, and then here we go. And then my domain from left to right is -infinity to +infinity. And my range is -infinity to +infinity. Okay, so it's very important when you are looking at these to notice what type of cube, or if it's a cube or versus if it's a square. Okay, so I always need to write down my initial point, which is 2, 1. So at 2, 1 is where I'm starting. Up 1, right 1, up 2, right 8, down 1, left 1, down 2, left 8. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There it is. Okay. And then we're going to make our S. And then our domain, our x values, -infinity to +infinity. Our range, -infinity to +infinity. All right, number 3, I'm going to highlight that in a different color. And why is that? Yeah, because it's a square root, okay? The first thing I notice is that it's negative. So when it's negative, I'm going down, okay? Our initial point is 4, -5. So at 4, -5, so 4, -5, and then I'm going down 1, right 1, down 2, right 4. Okay, so I'm going to write that down for this one because it's different. So we went down 1, right 1, down 2, right 4. Okay, that's our special one. Now, my range and domain are going to be different because I have a specific starting point and I need to look at my initial point for that. So my domain is 4 to infinity, and then my range, since I'm going down, I start at -infinity because it's low, and then I go to high, which is -5. Okay. So for example number 4, 5, and 6, I have to write the equation. So I have to figure it out myself. Now, as I'm coming down here, we need to find the points. Right away, I know that it's to the cubed root because it's a S. Now, we gotta find our points because that's gonna tell us what to do. And there's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I can find my initial point, which is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, -5. So as I write that, I know that it's got to be a function. It's to the cubed root. I take the opposite. So it's a +1. So now it's going to be a -1. And this is going to stay the same. Okay. Now for number 5, I can see right away that it's going to just be a square. I'm trying to find all my points. So there's up 1 over 1, up 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. My initial point right here is -4, +3. So as I write that, it's the square root of x. I take the opposite, and this number stays the same. Okay, so the first thing that you're always doing is identifying what type is it? Is it a square root, or is it a cubed root? And number 6 is a cubed root. And then I'm trying to find my pattern. Look at your points. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 8 again. Find your initial point, and this time it's 0, -6. So we'll just call that h of x to continue our pattern. Now this guy coming inside, it's the opposite, but the opposite of 0 is just 0. So then the -6 comes out front. And that's it. Okay? Now, if you need any extra help, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Your homework is going to be graded, so make sure you work hard on it and get it done. But other than that, that's it. So this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 6.1 Notes, Day 2. Thanks for watching.